Well, today is going to be an exciting show. I'm super excited to talk to Dr. Mark Sircus on the show. We're going to be talking about hydrogen medicine, oxygen, and CO2. So it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff going around these days about hydrogen, but Dr. Sircus is doing some really fascinating things combining hydrogen with oxygen and CO2. So we're going to talk to him about this. Really fascinating. I've been learning lately that every being on the planet needs to have hydrogen. Not everything needs oxygen, but everything needs hydrogen in order to sustain life. So it's a very light molecule, and it's he's having some extraordinary successes with hydrogen. Imagine if we're able to sort of come into the 21st century and start learning about some of these protocols, and we're able to reverse, our body's able to reverse, I should say, our body's able to reverse certain health challenges. I won't even say diseases, but certain health challenges. Imagine. I mean, the power to heal really, truly is in our hands. And so this is going to be an amazing talk with Dr. Sircus. You can find him over at drsircus.com. And many of you guys have purchased a biomat, and he is the man that is responsible for that. So we go through him when you guys purchase the biomat. So he's doing some extraordinary things out in Brazil. And we last had him on episode 158. So it's been way too long. That was about 2013. So that was about 5 years ago now. So we're really excited to have him back on. It's been way too long. Let me turn the music down and Dr. Sircus's mic up. Doc, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Justin. How you doing?
Excellent. I'm doing great. Are you still in João Pessoa, Brazil, or are you out in the jungles now?
No, we're in the jungles now. I was going back and forth for 11 years, which is how long it took me to build this sanctuary. And one of the biggest conquests of my life was getting my wife to actually move here.
Oh, really?
And be happy. Oh, yeah. We're here now. A year and a half, and we finished building in September. We built a bridge across the river. Now it's the rainy season. We can cross the river. So it's nice.
Oh, beautiful.
We're very retreated.
Yeah. So how far away from, how do you say that name, João Pessoa? Is that how you say it?
João Pessoa it's a 3-hour car ride and another 2.5 hours by plane.
Okay. How far away is that from Natal, Brazil? That's where I went.
You went to where?
To Natal.
Oh, Natal, yeah. That's not too far from João Pessoa.
Okay, beautiful spot.
That's about 2,000 kilometers from here.
Okay, beautiful spot. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about some really fascinating work. It's been 5 years since you've been on the show, and it's crazy how fast time flies, but what's cool is I've been following your work, and you're always into new things, writing new books and new treatises and protocols and things. And one of the big things that's going around now is hydrogen, and you wrote a book called Hydrogen Medicine, but you're doing some interesting things with it that I don't see a lot of other people doing. Maybe I just haven't looked deep enough, but you're combining hydrogen with oxygen and CO2. Is that right?
That's correct.
Wow. So,
well, first of all, the book, Hydrogen Medicine, it would have been enough to just write a book on hydrogen, because my book is going to be the first popular book, which will be for clinicians, scientists, and patients, for people. Everybody will be able to understand it. And it's really the first book like that on the market in English. Mm-hmm. I guess there's a few in Japanese. There's one that's been translated, which is very expensive, like $29 a chapter they're charging.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, but my work, I've been writing about hydrogen for almost 2 years, but backing into my entire protocol and where I'm coming from, two big areas of my research are around carbon dioxide, and I have a book about that. It's called Sodium Bicarbonate, because sodium bicarbonate and carbon dioxide are two forms of the same thing. They turn in at the speed of light into each other in the blood. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to identify where is the CO2 and a bicarbonate ion. So sodium bicarbonate gives us control over CO2. And when you have control of CO2, you get some control over oxygen. And so I have a book about oxygen too called Anti-Inflammatory Oxygen Therapy. So now, and hydrogen, basically water has been the big movement these last 2 years. But now, coming basically to the United States, pretty strongly at this point, are hydrogen inhalers. These little machines that you flip the switch and it blows gas into your nose, either pure hydrogen gas or a combination of hydrogen and oxygen gas. So now you're breathing it. And this is really new. And when I started waking up to this in August, that's when I started writing the book.
Isn't that fascinating? So
the book is introducing hydrogen, really introducing it in a new way, in a popular way, but I'm already combining the other two principal gases. So the image, the deepest vision of the book, is that whether it be as a patient or a person who's interested in their health and longevity, or you're an emergency room doctor or intensive care doctor, is to get command of these three gases at the same time, which makes sense in the future of medicine, because in the future of medicine, they'll never give oxygen again alone. They'll always give oxygen with hydrogen. It's just that if you're on your deathbed, you're dying, you're ready to go, oxygen is not going to pull you back. But you add hydrogen to the mix, it'll pull you back.
So what is hydrogen itself? What is that molecule? What is it?
Hydrogen. It's the whole universe. It's the most common thing in the universe. It runs the sun. Every sun in the universe runs on hydrogen. We send rockets to space with hydrogen, liquid hydrogen. You can run your car on hydrogen, and now we find out it's really the best medicine. The simplest thing in the universe, the most common thing, the thing that the universe can't do without, and neither can we, is this you can get spiritual about it. What is it? What is the effect? Well, I have two ways of describing it. Really, one is like a solar wind. I had a cousin who was one of the big people in one of the big corporations in America who wants to go to Mars, one of these genius guys. But he used to gave me 55, 60 years ago an image of a spaceship with huge sails riding on the solar wind.
Oh, right. I've seen those.
Yeah. So hydrogen is like that. It's like a wind that blows you away from death's door.
That is
It's kind of like a wind because it's not like a punch in the nose. It's like a wind. It's constant. So if you're dying and you plug into it, it's going to blow you back. Now let's say it's really a healthy person. Let's go to the other extreme. And you start applying this wind. It's still going to blow you back away from death, meaning it's going to prolong life. It's going to add to you. So the other way I describe it is very different, very not subtle at all. It's like you're pulling up to a huge fire, and you got this huge fire truck, and you come out and you take the big huge hose and you put it on the fire hydrant, and you open up and you get a whole bunch of trucks together and spraying the fire with high pressure hoses. And that's exactly what it's like also, because as soon as you start applying this wind, it's really like a hose in some cases or in some levels, because it'll immediately start putting out the fire, cellular fires, cellular stress, oxidative stress. So it's, take something like radiation poisoning. What does it do? We die because it creates a lot of oxidative stress. Things start going in the fire. It's like things start burning down. So here's the fire hose.
That's
hydrogen. You get off a plane. You've been from Tokyo to New York. There's more radiation up there, flying up there. Astronauts have to pay attention to this. So there's oxidative stress. You're getting more exposed. And there's been studies where certain areas of the world are much more radioactive than others. So it depends where you're flying. So what do you do when you get off the plane, you get home? You hook yourself up to hydrogen for a couple of hours.
Now, that's interesting. Now, in terms of conditions, it sounds like hydrogen could be something that's used for really basically any condition, but then also it sounds like it can be used as a preventative to extend life, to extend your vitality and all these things. What conditions have you used it for in your practice, and what kind of results have you seen with it?
Well, the first person I recommended a hydrogen inhaler to was in like the first week of September. It was a woman. She had cancer like 5 years ago, breast cancer, had her breast removed.
Oh, wow.
They told her it would never come back. It was a year ago. Came back into the chest wall, into the lymphatic. She started with me with my protocol like the last week of August.
Okay.
And within 5 days, she just fell on the floor and couldn't walk anymore and went to the emergency room. And they diagnosed her with a brain tumor that was blocking the spinal fluid. So she was already a patient, and these inhalers just were really coming into my consciousness. So I recommended one, and it was like Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. And just pulled right out of it.
Wow.
Right out of it.
And she was just breathing hydrogen.
Breathing hydrogen. Well, she was breathing hydrogen. She was using this breath slim. This is actually called the Fravlov breathing device. Comes from Russia. That gives you control of CO2. That and bicarbonate. It's a little thing you hold in your hand, costs $50, and you breathe through this tube. Breathe out, and it goes into this little thing in your hand, and there's water in it, and you blow bubbles. And the bubbles in the water puts a fray on the breathing rate. So you slow the breathing down. The faster you breathe, the less oxygen you get. The faster you breathe, like when you're working out and doing sports, it's fantastic because we're creating a lot of CO2. We have to breathe faster. We need more oxygen. But we breathe because of the CO2. But when you're sitting around doing nothing and you're breathing too fast, there's no extra CO2 to get rid of. So you're getting rid of the amount you need. Dropping the CO2 levels in the blood, which drops the bicarbonate levels in the blood, and we get acidic. And our cells start starving for oxygen. So you get over 20 breaths a minute. You're talking really low oxygen to the cells. And
with this lady, when you were working with this lady, did you combine the three gases with her, or was this before you realized and knew about that?
No, I was combining she got a pure hydrogen machine. The machines I prefer right now are the machines that make oxygen and hydrogen.
Okay.
So why throw out the oxygen when all of us can use some extra oxygen? Some of us need a lot more than others.
Now, could you do something like EWAT? I rebound a lot outside. Is it possible to do rebounding with hydrogen and oxygen?
Well, I do. I don't do it at the same time.
Okay.
I go downstairs and I go into my EWAT system. When I'm not being lazy. And upstairs is my hydrogen. I have it in my office. Now, so when I'm sitting here working, I'm breathing hydrogen.
I know with the tablets, there's different brands of the tablets, and I think Vital Reaction, I think with their tablets, they recommend like twice a day. Is that correct? And if so, how often do you take the gas and breathe the hydrogen if they recommend it twice a day with the tablets?
Well, there's, the tablet market is a mess because different manufacturers making different things. Some of them very similar, some very different.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Vital Reaction. And H2 just came out with a new product, which is also very good. It seems to be very good. I've been testing and using for 2 years the different hydrogen products, and now they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good now compared to where they were a year ago or even 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a breakthrough.
Yeah, you used to have to seal it and like fill the jar all the way up and seal it, and then it would take 5 minutes or more to react.
Yeah.
And
now you just drop it in 1 minute, 1 minute and a half tops. It's ready in an open glass with much higher concentration than the old days.
Now, I'm sure you could overdose, whether you're talking about the tablets or the gas. Can you overdose with it?
No, not really.
You can't. Wow.
There's no toxicity. The end product of hydrogen combustion is water.
Okay.
So it's very hydrating, meaning it's a very interesting substance because it's a fuel. It's a fuel. It runs the sun, runs rockets up to space. It's a fuel, but it stimulates the mitochondria, the energy factories of the cells. Mm-hmm. But at the other end, it's like the pitcher and the catcher at the same time in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's catching the free radicals that come from the use of oxygen, which are different kinds of free radicals. There's one that's damaging. It combines with that and turns to water. So it's a perfect substance. It's the most, bottom line physical universe. After this, we get into the frequency and vibration universe. Here we are at the end of the physical universe, hydrogen.
Do you think that buying a hydrogen, I think that's what I'm going to do next, buying a hydrogen machine. Do you think that would be one of the biggest or most, I guess I would say, powerful purchases that you could do in order to gain better health?
I would say totally yes. The way I've done my research, especially the last 5 years, is look for the strongest therapies possible. Mm-hmm. I'm interested because I've been on my own healing path. So I get to apply everything on myself. I'm a really hard case. Mm-hmm. So I get to see what's really good, what I can feel a difference and what I can't. Mm-hmm. And, if I'm going to promote something and put something out as a universal thing, a universal recommendation, it better be good. Mm-hmm. It better be.
To
answer your question, it's only 10 years that hydrogen has been in the medical world. But 70 years ago, the parabaric doctors, the Navy doctors, sending divers down 2,000 feet under incredible stress and pressure, they kept them alive with hydrogen, breathing 96% hydrogen gas and only 4% oxygen.
Interesting. 70 years ago.
1945.
Wow.
When the first diving record was really set by this guy in Sweden or something.
Okay.
So it has the ability to keep us alive in the most stressful situations.
So it sounds like a magical substance that people can use whether they're dealing with trying to get on top of any kind of health condition versus someone like me who just wants to be healthier and more vital and live longer. It sounds like it fits into any kind of need that you have.
It seems that way. I mean, one of the guys who's been making one of the machines the longest, I mean, decades longer than other people, it's a combination oxygen and hydrogen machine. And, you know, he ignored the health implications of this technology for a long time. And his wife died when she, I guess, of Lyme disease.
Oh, wow.
When in his hand he had this technology that could apply. Now we find out, just a few weeks ago, saved somebody's life who was had Lyme disease. That it's such, and he, so make a long story short, he started with like me, with the water. These machines make your water. You don't need the tablets. So you get your water, and it gives you the gas. And but he started with the water first, and only a year ago did he start with the inhalation. Mm-hmm. And the guy, he eats one meal a day. He can outwork. He's 60 years old. Kids doing construction site with guys who were 20 years old on one meal a day. He's even cured his heart murmur, which he had since he was a little kid.
Wow.
I mean, scars. I mean, it's the skin, the women are going to go crazy because there's already beauty applications, putting this stuff on the skin.
Wow, that's incredible.
If you have gangrene, you can bag it and just put the gas in there.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing things like, I know you're familiar with MMS, and people have used different gases on like MRSA and things, but hydrogen could be something that would be even better, probably.
Well, it should be included with the other primary gases. Every situation will be improved with increased oxygen and increased CO2.
Now, are you talking about the AquaCure? Is that the one that you're talking about?
That's the one I'm liking the best.
Okay.
It's got a good price point. It's got power. It gives both gases. It's a very experienced manufacturer in the United States and Canada, both.
Uh-huh.
So you can get this. I have on my site, the site I created just to show the different companies. There's another machine, same technology. It doesn't have a box. I mean, it looks like a scientific experiment. It's open. So the machinery. So you can see it. But it's the same thing, but you can save $500.
Yeah, I see a lot of these are more expensive. They can get on all the way up to like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. But the AquaCure, does that create gas, or just is the output water that you drink?
No, the water you drink and the gas, the hydrogen gas and the oxygen gas, and a plasma form of gas of water, meaning not steam, like a cold plasma gas that's actually H2O. So that's kind of esoteric, and I don't talk about it much. But
that's interesting. So what is the input? Is the input water just coming from your house, or?
No, you need distilled water.
Oh, you put distilled water in. Okay.
Put distilled water in. It's an ionizer, a special form of ionization.
So you can drink the water. Like right now, I drank about 3 mason jars full of water. If I wanted to add this in, would I make one of those hydrogen, or would I make them all hydrogen water?
It would be hydrogen and oxygen water.
Wow.
So I have a half-gallon jug at the end of my chain. So the gas is going through it. In 10 minutes of the gas bubble, it's like a fish tank. Mm-hmm. 10 minutes of the hydrogen, oxygen gas going through the water. You could just unconnect it for a minute, pour it into a jug, and then put new water in it. And you drink that, put it on your plants. I'm bringing down a machine here, one of these less expensive ones without the the cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fish farm across the river here. Fish and vegetables. The fish feed the vegetables, and the vegetables clean the water for the fish. I'm going to put this in line: hydrogen, oxygen, and they say it's like at least 5 times the production. And of course, we're getting good production just with the fish. I mean, so yeah, it's life. Hydrogen is life. It's life of the sun. When we eat, what are we eating? We're eating hydrogen. We're stripping digestion. We're getting hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
Hydrogen is life. That's photosynthesis is putting hydrogen into fats and proteins and lipids. And
are there any contraindications if someone is on? This is kind of a difficult question because when you start getting into like medicine, like actual pharmaceutical medicine people are taking. But in your experience, are there any people that should be concerned or maybe start slower with using hydrogen?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend hydrogen for arrogant people.
Okay. I could see that.
Meaning, for people who are not interested in anything good, just want to stay closed-minded, okay. I wouldn't recommend it.
That would be no one listening to this show then.
Go around anyway. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
But for any medical situation, the worst situation you're in, probably the more important hydrogen will be for the person. It's different. There's a company in Japan. They already made a $30,000 machine for the ICU, for the emergency room, for surgery.
Really?
It's a $30,000 hydrogen oxygen machine. Gives you total digital control of 0 to 100% on hydrogen and 0 to 100% on oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And the flow rate is tremendous. So, these guys in China and Japan, they're already seeing the future where this is going. They're just waiting for FDA approval.
All of that garbage. So when you are pouring in distilled water into something like the AquaCure, how long does it take to create the hydrogen and the oxygen water?
Just you flip the switch, turn the timer on. That's it.
Wow. That is really cool.
On demand. You just have to. The maintenance is changing the as the gas comes out. It has 2 little things that fill up with the bubbles, and every day you change those. Give it clean water again.
Okay.
But the machine itself, you have to put it's amazing how much gas comes out of very little liquid.
Mm-hmm. So you can actually, you yourself, you'll breathe the gas from it, and you'll also drink the water created from it as well.
Right. So far, I haven't been doing that. So far, I'm still taking the tablets.
Okay.
For getting a very high ppm, parts per million, and also because I'm lazy, and also because I have them. So I might as well keep using them. So, but yes, the water. In terms of imagine doing a family on tablets.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of money.
And if you're really sick, you need a lot. You need like 6 or 8 a day. It'd be like therapy.
Yeah. And
it still doesn't have the power of the inhaling.
Now, why does the inhaling have more power? Just because it's in a different form?
We're not 100% sure. The scientists, there's, it seems the consensus is both together is ideal.
Mm-hmm.
One without the other is, in terms of real treatment, you need to take it because it's hitting 2 different parts of the body. You're taking it orally and inhaling it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been taking the water for a long time, but when I started inhaling it, it was another story.
Isn't that fascinating? So it's crazy to me that there's it's like hydrogen has been around since the beginning of time, but yet there's been health-related people like guys like Jack LaLanne back in the day. But, it's interesting that only now is this stuff becoming popular to the point where there's products being created with it and people are really starting to develop protocols with it and it starts becoming more well known, I just feel so fortunate to be living in a time when it's not new, but new sort of protocols are coming to the forefront, you know?
Well, I kid with my wife, but I'm not really kidding. My intention with this book is to change medicine for the next 1,000 years. Meaning it's not going to get better or more basic or more important than handling the 3 primary gases, getting command of them. You know, to go beyond that, you have to leave the physical universe, and we've already done that too. We have lots of, even biomat, you know, it's frequency, it's radiation. Mm-hmm. It's infrared radiation. And there's lots of devices now, electrical devices and magnetic devices. But in the physical universe, nothing, you know, and the first people to understand this would be intensive care doctors and emergency doctors. They, when life comes down to seconds or minutes, it's the gases that are what is used, what is needed, or what saves the day. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go to a highly upgraded new level of healing and medicine because we're going to add hydrogen to that mix. You know, these doctors already know how to use gas. Mm-hmm. Oxygen is the most prescribed medicine in the hospital. Mm-hmm. So now it's going to be hydrogen and oxygen.
So when you're combining the oxygen with the hydrogen, are you having a compound effect?
Oh, sure. I mean, you know, as I said, I wrote a book about oxygen. Oxygen with hydrogen and actually in these inhalers are combining. But we do have to look at oxygen alone, depending on a person's case and the situation. Like me or you using EWAT. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can breathe in an inhaler, sleeping in bed, reading a book, watching, you know, working at your desk. The EWAT, you have to go on a bicycle and get your heart pumping and get really the carbon dioxide flowing, and then you breathe in a mountain of like an avalanche of oxygen. Mm-hmm. So for some people, that would be really, really good to do. There are other kinds of ozone is a very, very valid therapy. Mm-hmm. Next thing I'm going to be investigating is singlet oxygen. There's O1, not O2, so it's not it's a highly energetic form of oxygen. And they have machines that cost $5,000-$6,000 that will bang you over the head using oxygen technology. So I never, you know, my religion is protocol. I don't have a religion, it's hydrogen or it's just, it's all of these things. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fanatic on that level of never thinking anything alone. And depending on the case, you can always maximize therapy by bringing in, well, for me, it's always been a biomat. Biomat, I can't even imagine living without a biomat.
Mm-hmm. I know. They're amazing.
You know, I'm 65 and I've had my own health challenges. And a biomat is, you know, no matter how you're feeling, you jump on it, and it does feel a little bit like heaven.
It does.
It always helps you feel better.
It does, definitely. Now, what's interesting is I've been learning recently the effects of hydrogen, and you kind of touched on it a little bit with in terms of the mitochondria and how it's helping to rehydrate the cells. And in some of my research on EMF, it's interesting how EMF, basically at the cellular level, I can say that, it dehydrates us at the mitochondrial level. And so what hydrogen seems to be doing is allowing our bodies to make ATP and to move electrons better and to create more energy, but also to allow us to create more hydration in the body.
Both. Exactly. Exactly. It's why it's also the medicine that we need right now because it's anti-radiation. Mm-hmm. So whether it be you're living in a place, well, anywhere on this planet is now a lot more radioactive than it was 100 years ago. Certain places are more radioactive than others. We have Fukushima still on the planet. We have the residues of a lot of atomic testing. There's a lot of radiation. Then the people who love to go to doctors, where do they go? They get radiation, CAT scans, PET scans, X-rays. I mean, God forbid radiation treatment for cancer. All of this creates incredible oxidative stress.
Mm-hmm.
So heavy metals creates oxidative stress. Wi-Fi, all the frequencies, they create difficulties for the cells. So hydrogen is really, it's like the cavalry coming to the I think it is the cavalry coming to the rescue, especially for all of us who are either just keeping up with their health or struggling or suffering. I mean, people, the bottom line with disease is the suffering. It's the pain. It's painful to be sick. So with this, and why hydrogen's interesting, these inhalers. Okay, you're really, really sick. Okay, you get your machine, you turn it on, and don't shut it off until you feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're in your deathbed, until you can get out of it and go to the bathroom by yourself. Then you know, okay, I had enough hydrogen for right this moment.
So with the lady circling back with the breast cancer, whose body has breast cancer, how is hydrogen? Is she still on your protocol?
Well, I can tell you for September, October, November that she was totally back to activity, running around, exercise, and I lost contact with her for the last 2 months, so I don't have a current information on her. But the last I heard, she was complaining she was gaining too much weight, so she had to buy some new clothes. So
okay.
For a cancer patient, it was pretty good.
That's a good sign. Yeah. So
it was a good sign.
Hydrogen should be really a part of everybody's protocol, it sounds like. And what I like about these kinds of things is, what's cool is the vital reaction tablets are cool because you can travel with those and you can take them with you on the go if you're a business person. Sure. And that's really great. And then what I love about some of these tools that are available now is, you buy them once. It's not like, it's not even like buying food. It's like you buy something once, a machine like a sauna or a rebounder or a biomat or some healing tool, and you have them for years and maybe even decades then, to build better health.
And you say you have a family of 4. You buy a $2,500 machine. I mean, in the old days, the whole fad, you buy an ionizer to make your water. Here, this is making your water and giving you this gas, which is proving to be one of the most useful, powerful medicines. You put a family of 4 on that and compare that to 1 month of health insurance today. It's very inexpensive.
Yeah. You just got to buy it once, and it's not even like with health insurance, you're buying it every month, Yeah,
every month, and buying into a system that's probably going to hurt you more than help you.
Yeah. So now with these types of machines that create the hydrogen gas and then the water and combining it with the oxygen, is it appropriate for children, or is there an age kind of requirement on these things, or how does that work?
I would probably say no. I would recommend it for autism kids, neurologically compromised populations. Kid gets a flu, again goes to the hospital. I wish the hospital had hydrogen gas to give the baby. Going back to the divers down 2,000 feet. It gives relief for the worst kinds of stress or distress. So whenever a person, whether it be a baby, a newborn, anything, and they're under stress and you're looking to treat with medicine, hydrogen and then oxygen right behind it, because hydrogen makes oxygen safer. So does CO2. CO2 controls oxygen, making it safer. And the proof of that is not my opinion, is the fact that these oxygen tanks in the hospitals, they're not pure oxygen. If they're pure oxygen, they kill people. They have 10% carbon dioxide mixed in. It makes it safe. So anyway, it's but it's hydrogen is the one that does the healing.
Wow, and are you taking it every day yourself?
Say again?
Are you taking it every day yourself, I'm sure?
Oh, for sure. Yesterday I couldn't because we lost our electricity.
Okay. So only when you can't take it do you not take it, but you're pretty much taking it every single day.
Exactly. I'm taking it also as a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. People already, meaning anything you do really, like you were saying already, anything you want to really do for your health that's going to matter over the long term, even keep you alive 10 years longer, something strong enough, preventive enough against death or against cellular decay, this is it. This is it. The burning more hydrogen, getting your mitochondria hyped up, getting the oxidative, going, but keeping the fires down, getting the reaction exactly right. So you're humming, your cells are humming along until you're 90 or 100, 110, who knows?
Yeah, it's so cool. Have you heard of people using it in enemas at all?
I've been asked, but no. You can use this in baths. The machines, they're very expensive. You go to a spa now and you take hydrogen baths because it's, if you get burned, what do you put on right away? You put hydrogen, water on your burn, and then maybe some CBD cream or something for burns. So stuff is really good for the skin.
Wow, I imagine it's going to be making its way into all kinds of skin products. And is that possible for it to be?
It's already this company, beauty, cosmetician, whatever, beauty products, skin products. Yeah. It's like it's an invasion, a hydrogen invasion.
I know, it's just sort of taking off right now. Everyone's sort of talking about it. What is the difference between hydrogen and what some people call molecular hydrogen? Or is that just a fancy name?
That's a deep subject.
Okay.
I mean, the wave is, and the rave is about molecular hydrogen, which is hydrogen gas. It's H2. H2 is a gas. The research, and there's maybe 300 or 400 research studies from China and Japan already, what it does for this disease and that disease and for this mouse and that, they've been studying it very carefully. What was I saying? Where was I going?
Oh, I was just curious about the difference if there is one between molecular hydrogen and.
Okay, so that's molecular hydrogen.
Okay.
Now, one of the pioneers in this field before this 10 years, this goes back 20 years. His name is Patrick Flanagan. He made this product called Mega Hydrate.
Yeah, I've taken that. Yeah.
And the whole principle is different, and it's talking about H minus, which is a hydrogen atom, not a molecule, not two, but one that has an extra electron.
Okay.
So he talks about that, and his product works with that. And
it's my understanding that his product doesn't contain hydrogen, but it allows your body to create hydrogen. Is that accurate?
Well, the last information I have, and I couldn't even find the guy's message again. It was one of my readers saying, "Oh, I tested it for hydrogen. It's loaded with hydrogen."
Okay. Then maybe I heard wrong.
One of my partners, who's a physicist, and he formulates lots of health products and stuff. He's using the Vital Reaction tablets and mega hydrate. He opens it up and puts it in the water, and he's going to go into inhaling now. But that was really working for him.
So he was doing both in one glass of water?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
So, but the people from molecular hydrogen don't like this principle or the theories about H minus. And then there's the principle of just H alone in an excited form. Mm-hmm. That's one of the fringes here. But one of the interesting things comes from this water science. You go really deep into water, and we find out that whether it be in the plant or in us, things like photosynthesis are possible. Just like electrolysis, we can take water and split it apart inside the body to hydrogen and oxygen. Boy, how can you do that? But somehow. And that we, of course, by taking hydrogen forms with free radicals and makes water. And even if you don't do hydrogen, of course, we still have hydrogen. Mm-hmm. Just your intestines makes liters of hydrogen every day. I mean, hydrogen, we eat and strip hydrogen off during the digestive process. So hydrogen is there. All these processes are happening on this really primordial level of gases. And getting control of it is just good for your health.
Yeah, and understanding what it can do. And when you work with people, do you put together protocols for them?
Well, that's my work, actually. Not in person here, but internationally. Is I've put out a universal protocol that are like the primary things no matter what your situation. These are the primary things to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. So after these three gases, the CO2, the oxygen, and the hydrogen, well, then we need to get the most important things is water and minerals in the water like magnesium, bicarbonates, iodine. Mm-hmm. Iodine is super, super, super important in today's world. Selenium. Infrared, which is our favorite thing, life, our biomats. Mm-hmm. So these are things that are so fundamental that they're like prioritized.
Yeah. So you sounds like you work with people and you give them like a foundation that sort of doesn't really change with each individual. It's just sort of like the foundational health principles, and then you tailor certain things for certain people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Gosh,
that's why I consider it a new form of medicine. I call it natural allopathic medicine because it's a thing you can practice. You can learn it, very easy. A mother can learn it. A teenager can learn it. Nurse can learn it. Doctor can even learn it. Mm-hmm. And it gives you your toolbox for what you apply, whether the person's dying. They're in an intensive care ward, because most of those substances are used in intensive care wards.
Oh, wow.
Magnesium, bicarbonate, iodine, injectable selenium, oxygen.
Right.
These things are all used there.
Yeah. So what is the website that you want to send people to, or that you just created? Because I'd be curious, because I think a lot of people are probably listening to this and they're thinking like, okay, I'd like to get some of the vital reaction, or I'd like to get some of the, the machines. And I know you have a site for that, right?
Well, the best place to go is, first place is drsircus.com. That's DRSIRCUS.com. My landing page talks about hydrogen-led protocols, and it'll take you to two daughter sites. One is hydrogenmedicine.info, but you'll see the links on my Dr. Sircus. And then there's another site which shows the different companies and what the products are they make, the different inhalers, so you can see what's out on the market and make choices.
Okay, what
because
site
what's
is
good
that?
For a doctor in a doctor's room in a clinic is different than what's good for the home.
Right, exactly. Now, what is that second site? What's the address for that?
The second site, I'm going to have to hold on 1 second. I guess it's hydrogen. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
I have hydrogenmedicine.info, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Is there another one?
And then it's hydroproducts.info, I believe. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Hydroproducts.info. Okay. Okay, yeah, I see that there. Okay, and then you're sort of comparing a lot of the different tools here.
Yeah, this process of writing this book, which is the last 6 months, is it really changes the fundamentals of how we're going to practice medicine in the future and in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Gives us a new powerful tool, which is not a high cost, that's useful in every situation that we don't have to even think about and argue about. By coming, even for me, it took a reorientation, because magnesium was always my number one thing in my protocol for years.
Mm-hmm.
And behind that, bicarbonate and the iodine. Now it's moved down to hydrogen.
Oh, wow. This is really, really cool. It's like the cutting edge. This is great.
We're cutting the edge with the simplest thing in the universe. The most common, simple thing.
I know. It's just so great. All right, Doc. Well, I wanted to
spend $1 million, 10 years of investigating. It's all been done already.
I know.
Hydrogen.
I know. It's so great. And I just love giving options to people for their own self-healing and things they can do at home to feel better. So this is great. I'll put a link to hydroproducts.info as well as the other site, obviously drsircus.com and hydrogenmedicine.info too. So, Doc, thank you so much for your work and, man, all the stuff that you're doing with people and your research. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we haven't talked in 5 years or so. And, every time that I hear something new from you, you're into some new thing or you're combining things in a interesting way. And it's just really cool that you're out there doing this kind of work for people. It's amazing.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you're so welcome. All right, hang on the line there.
Sometime sooner than the next 5 years, okay?
Yeah, let's do it again for sure. And next time we'll have more time too, because I think that would be really cool to dive even deeper in. But let me just close out the live show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Make sure to go over and check out Dr. Sircus's websites there. I'll put links to them on this particular show page. Let's see. Let me get this correct for you. It is extremehealthradio.com/568. And then I'll put links to all of his stuff there so that you can check that out. So just remember extremehealthradio.com/568. And I'll put links to all his good stuff. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you know of anyone who may benefit from this type of therapy or who has an open mind, is looking for sort of cutting edge protocols and different ideas and things to look at for their health, pass this show on to them. Share it on Facebook. Share it on any social media that you can, because it's really important to get the word out, to let people know there are options and there are choices that your medical doctor isn't telling you or doesn't know about. And so when there's choice, there's freedom. So make sure to pass this show on to them. We love you guys. Let us know if we can ever help, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. I have to say, I have been absolutely loving this product by Tristan, Truscott, and Peter Ragnar called Good Morning, Good Evening, Qigong. If you want to listen to the interview we did with Tristan, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/127. And Qigong is a great way to de-stress the body. And as you know, there's a huge component to disease caused by stress. And stress is a huge factor in how we live our lives and the amount of energy we have and the amount of vitality we have. And so, Dr. Shade, what do you think about Qigong?
people come to me and they're really sick and they got this blown out neurological system and all this toxicity, and I tell them, you need to do Qigong, Tai Chi, you need to do these things that settle down and restore your neurology, because it puts together all the parts, it puts you back into that state where you can start to detoxify. And so I highly, highly recommend all that.
And what about you, Kit Campbell? What do you think about Qigong? Do you like it as well?
Qigong is amazing. And the reason that I believe it to be amazing is everything here is energy. That is a scientific fact, if there ever is one. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually drawing energy into your body. Your intention, whatever your intention is behind any action, will determine the level of energy, type of energy that you absorb into your body. So your intention behind is very important, just like thought. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually bringing energy in and you're bringing out the stuff that might be a bit stale. With Tai Chi, it's totally different. The energy runs underneath the skin because it's more of a martial. This is the Chinese understanding, by the way. It's more of a martial art. So Qigong is very, very good for bringing that energy into the body, and just fantastic.
If you're interested in picking up this Qigong course by Tristan, Truscott, and Peter Ragnar, go to extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. That's QIGONG. And you can learn more about it. There's a great video on that page, and you can learn more about it on that page. And I highly, highly recommend this product. I love it myself, so go ahead and check that out. extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it if you have a cold or flu. It's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great, but it's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice, that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercurial that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state. to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat, because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
This sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans, because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done, and wipe the neck down, and it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm, and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal, because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna. All right, there you go, Mr. Mark Sircus, Dr. Mark Sircus. Cool guy, right? Yeah, man. I like what he's doing. I tell you what, he's doing some cool stuff. And the fact that he took himself to Brazil many, many years ago, he's on to something. And deep in the jungles there, isn't that cool? And yeah, for those of you that have purchased Biomats through us, it actually goes through Dr. Sircus. And the Biomat, I'll put a link to it on this show. Man, we love that thing. We've had it for, maybe 4 years now. And man, I tell you what, you lay on that thing and nothing happens for about 15 minutes. It feels like any normal mat. And then around the 20-minute mark, I should say, you get sort of transported into some other dimension, because there must be something going on with the tourmaline and the amethyst crystals and the far infrared heat being directly applied to your back and your body. But man, there's something that you just get transported somewhere else, man. And I love that thing. So what I'll do is I'll do that, and I'll combine it with like the Chi machine, which is in our store. There's both the Biomat and the Chi machine in our store. If you guys are interested, I'll do the Chi machine, and then I'll do some meditation music or some red light therapy, and really take things to a new level. I like stacking these things. And if you follow us on Instagram, I do Instagram stories on some of the stacks that we do, combining different frequencies. Like, the other night I was doing, the Rife frequency machine, and I was combining that with red light therapy and the sauna all at the same time. And that's where you get into some super, super powerful healing layers. You get really, really deep. But yeah, Dr. Sircus, man, he is a cool guy. I really love what he's doing. This whole hydrogen thing has been fascinating to me, and it's really cool. I for some reason, there's something inside of me that is like, I'm always looking for something. I don't know, like, do you guys feel like this, where I'm always looking for the next thing to blow my mind? Like, this construct and this reality that we live in is not what we've been told at all. And things are not as they seem. And I'm always looking for something new. I'm looking for some new thing to blow my mind. Some new concept. And, I look at concepts and I look at these types of ideas. I don't look at them as identity pieces. I don't look at them as like, this is something now. I'm I've been seeing a lot of stuff go around about the flat earth recently, and I've studied that a ton, but I don't think of these things as like, this is who I am. I'm a flat earther, or I'm a vegan, or I'm a vegetarian, or whatever. I don't look at these things. I look at these things as tools to construct the kind of life that you want. So it's very telling, these concepts and ideas that sort of manifest themselves and make themselves known to you if you're seeking them out. Because what I like to look at them as like, if you're building a house and that house is the framework of your very existence, that house represents your life. For different parts of the house, you're going to use a hammer. For other parts, you're going to use a wrench. For other parts, you're going to use a welding tool. For other parts, you're going to use different tools for different, specific tasks. And so it's only when you understand what those tasks are that you can seek out the very tools that's going to help you meet that challenge and take that task and actually complete it. Right? So that's the way I look at ideas. You can kind of just play with them as tools in a toolbox and use them to accomplish what you need to accomplish, and then let them go if they no longer serve you. And so I love to play around with ideas. I don't necessarily believe all the ideas I research. I do a lot of research, from everything from, how money gets created, which is through our signature. It's kind of shocking. History, science, religion, all these things. Nothing is as it seems, and there's alternative stories about all of them. And so I'm always looking to grow and learn. And again, I don't attach to any of these ideas. I don't know necessarily. There's a lot of ideas out there about a lot of things, but I love exploring these ideas. And lately, one of the ideas I've been learning a lot about is light, water, and magnetism, and how light, water, and magnetism just very well might be not just a little bit, but orders of magnitude more important than food when it comes to our health, when it comes to how long we live and what kind of disease process ends up over time in our bodies. So when you start talking to people like Dr. Sircus about hydrogen, that molecule is so small, it's almost like getting into the realm of homeopathics. It's so small, it's almost on the realm of frequency and vibration. So understanding how hydrogen works is really fascinating, because the idea that, not all organisms on the planet Earth need oxygen, but every organism needs hydrogen to live is pretty fascinating. So I've been really learning a lot about hydrogen lately, and this whole thing is really fascinating to me. And I look at people like old timers that come before us, like Jack LaLanne and Paul Bragg and these types of people that, have been passed away for some time. And I just think like, wow, what if they knew about, blocking blue light and how important that is, and getting full spectrum sun and understanding what that does to the mitochondria? What if they knew about red light therapy? And what if they knew about hydrogen? There's all kinds of things that like, wow, what if they knew about that kind of stuff? Man, is it possible that, we could break 150, 160 as far as how long we live? I tell you what, I'm going to be getting one of these machines. That's my next goal, is to get one of these machines. $2,500 does not seem like that much money for a machine that makes both oxygen and hydrogen. And to be able to use it to make water and to breathe it, what a powerful way to help your body heal and to prevent disease. Like what happens in the human body when, you don't have a disease, but you start stacking these protocols and these biohacks on top of one another? What happens then? It's pretty incredible. So, man, I'm really excited about where we're going, the things we're learning, and the direction we're going in terms of health and healing. And, that's part of what we talk about inside the Extreme Health Academy, is like, how do we put these, all together? How do we come up with a construct, a system to live by, where we can start adding and stacking all of these protocols and biohacks into our daily life that will support not only not getting disease, but support living a healthy, energetic life with a robust immune system and mental clarity and, balanced hormones when you're 70, 80, 90, 120, 140. Is it possible? I think it is. I know it is. But it's a matter of how much are we willing to do the work and to learn? How much are we willing to change and not be attached to our ideas and to let these ideas go that don't serve us? How much work are we willing to put into it? And then once you start having a healthy body, how much are you willing to really connect with yourself and fulfill the mission that you're here for? Because we're all here for something. We're not here to watch TV, to get through the day, to realize that, to be depressed and to eat. It's not what we're here for. The very fact that you exist means that you're here for something. But we don't know what that is because we're disconnected. We've been so disconnected for so long from so many things. I think it's that disconnection in my experience, and from having done 570 shows or 60 shows, I think it's a fundamental disconnection from ourselves, from our purpose, from the earth, and from each other, and from God. That is the cause of disease. Because when you have a disconnection, you have lack of energy and transfer. You have a lack of energy flow from one system of the body to the next. And so you start getting these circadian mismatches where one part of the body doesn't understand what the other part of the body is going through or doing. So you have all these mixed signals happening, and the body's not able to communicate effectively to itself from the environment. And so as a result, stress happens, and you get too much proton production in the body, which shows itself in the area of inflammation. Inflammation is just too many protons in the body, not enough electrons. And so you have these circadian mismatches happening all throughout the body, and that breaks us down. Our telomeres start to shorten. The disease process starts to happen. The genes start to actually de-gene themselves, and people get degenerative genes and diseases and things like that. And so it's this fundamental lack of connection that, in my opinion, is the reason why we're getting sick. And it's possible for us to create not just a new life for ourselves, but a new life for the next generation after us, and to create a new planet and a new world. But it all starts with us taking care of ourselves and actually having a little bit of self-love, and wanting to take care of ourselves, and having that desire to do that, even though in the short term it seems like we're being selfish and not taking care of our kids or family or husband or wife or kids. It really starts with loving yourself and putting in the work and doing that sauna session, which I'm going to do right after this. Doing the IMRS 2000 mat that I have, the PEMF mat, and doing the rebounder, the grounded, I've been doing grounded rebounding with the earthing sheets that we have. All that stuff, all the stuff I just mentioned is in our store, from earthing and doing grounded rebounding and putting in the work of loving yourself, and that's where it all, it's this fundamental disconnection that we have. And you're here for a reason, and we need to figure out why we're here and what we're doing, and get in alignment with the direction that our life wants to take us and where God wants to take us. Because I can tell you now, fundamentally, you're not here to sit around and work a job that you don't like, and to be constantly stressed out and miserable, out of shape, eating food, beating yourself up in this constant cycle of not feeling good. That's not why you're here. That's not why you're here. And if we can get in touch with why we're really here, man, then think about if 7 billion people that are on the planet, or 9 billion, whatever the number is, just think about if 50% of people did that and understood their mission and started living in a way that facilitates that mission. Imagine the difference we could make. Imagine governments would crumble. New governments would take their place, and we would create a veritable utopia on planet Earth. Free energy systems. It would be incredible. It would be like the Venus Project times 1,000,000 on steroids, times 1,000. It would be amazing. But it all starts with all of us getting in touch with what we're here, our purpose, and putting in the work and the discipline and the effort to have enough self-love to take care of ourselves every day. So, man, I'm telling you, I love what Dr. Sircus, we haven't had him on for 5 years. We need to have him on again. I love the work that he's doing. He's always into something new. And what I love about him too, you follow his protocols and you follow his work there at drsircus.com. He's always combining things together, in such unique and interesting ways, and getting just insane results with his people, with his patients all around the world. It's awesome. That's why we love supporting him on the biomat, and stacking those things together with, other, things that I do, like I mentioned before, with the Chi machine and the red light therapy and the meditation, and, it's just amazing. So, the amount of tools that we have available to us today is it's enough to just blow your mind. And even though we only have, in my opinion, about 1% understanding of what's really going on in the body, that 1% could change everything for us. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this academy, man. I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to get access to this academy, we partnered up with one of the best doctors in the entire world, Dr. John Bergman. He's teaching courses all the time in there every single month. I've been exposed to so much information, everything from light frequency, magnetism, sound, vibration, to spirituality, to detoxification, to heavy metal burden, to family biology, to recall healing, to food and the ketogenic diet. I see a lot of people doing and focusing on some of these things, but I don't see a lot of people putting all the pieces together like this. And so understanding how magnetism works, light, water, and all this stuff, putting it all together and seeing how long we could live. It's really, really possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed that show. If you guys are interested in taking your health to new levels, come join us. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in the community forums there, all sharing different things, encouraging one another. We just got the best. Man, I don't know how we did this, but we attracted to ourselves some of the most amazing people from all over the world. And I just feel so blessed to be a part of it. So if you guys want, encouragement, another group of crazy people like you that are really interested in their health to be friends with and get encouragement from, you got to check out the academy. So I'll put a link to that at this show page, extremehealthradio.com/568. Thank you guys again for supporting our work, for checking out our store on an ongoing basis. You guys know who you are, and we put new and innovative products on our store. We sort of aggregate them from the best places online, and we work with these companies. We vet them out. We use their tools, and then we put them in our store. And your support over the years has been tremendous. So thanks for checking out the store that we have all of our awesome products on there. So you guys are amazing. And thanks for also, you guys know who you are too, for buying through our Amazon link. Every time you make a purchase there, if you go through our link, that helps support the show. So that's really cool. So thank you guys for that. It's amazing. So I just feel super blessed and super humbled and grateful. So thanks for being on this wild journey with us, this wild ride of self-improvement, spiritual growth, and personal health and improving ourselves. So I just feel thankful to you guys. So thanks again for everything. We love you, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this